Idris Elba is known for his undeniable charm, raw talent, and impressive versatility, making him one of the most sought-after actors in Hollywood. From Luther to Thor, his commanding presence has captivated audiences worldwide. Yet, beneath the polished image of the suave, smooth-talking British actor lies a much more complex man, one who has faced personal battles, career challenges, and controversies that fans rarely hear about. The world adores Idris for his commanding screen presence, but what lies beyond that persona is a far more layered story. Let's peel back the layers and uncover the man behind the characters. Idris Elba's career skyrocketed with his groundbreaking performance in Luther, but with fame came the pressure. As one of Hollywood's leading men, Idris has often expressed how the public's perception of him as the perfect actor comes with its own set of challenges. While his on-screen performances are nothing short of extraordinary, he has admitted to struggling with the weight of expectations. Constantly in the spotlight, Elba's attempts to remain grounded and true to himself are often overshadowed by the image others have of him. Fame, for all its glory, can also feel like a prison. Idris is more than just the characters he plays, but in many ways, he is confined by the roles the world wants him to fill. Idris's personal life has frequently made headlines, especially his high-profile relationships. While his marriage to model and actress Sabrina Dower was celebrated by many, it also brought with it increased media scrutiny. Fans admired their relationship, but others were quick to judge. From accusations about his past relationships to questions about his role as a father, Idris's private life became a topic of endless debate. Despite his efforts to keep his personal affairs under wraps, the paparazzi and public scrutiny have always been a constant presence. Like many celebrities, Idris has been forced to navigate the blurred lines between personal happiness and public expectation. The pressure of balancing his career with his family life hasn't been easy, but he's handled it as gracefully as he could. Behind Idris's success lies the darker side of the industry. He has openly spoken about the challenges of breaking into Hollywood as a black actor and the systemic barriers that still exist. Though he's achieved extraordinary success, Idris's rise to the top wasn't without its struggles. He's had to prove himself repeatedly, not just as an actor, but as a force in an industry that often limits opportunities for people of color. His success comes not only from talent, but from perseverance in an industry that can be unforgiving. In interviews, he's expressed frustration with the roles that were initially offered to him, often typecast into stereotypical black roles. The fight for representation in Hollywood is personal for Idris, and he has worked hard to be seen as more than just a token presence. Idris Elba's career has not been without its fair share of controversial moments. In 2018, during an interview with Esquire, Elba stated that he didn't want to be the black guy in the room and wasn't looking to be a role model. These comments sparked a wave of backlash, with many fans and critics accusing him of distancing himself from his black identity. He later clarified his remarks, but the damage was done. Some saw it as an attempt to transcend racial barriers, while others believed he was turning his back on the very community that helped propel his career. While Idris is known for his charisma, comments like these remind us that even the most beloved stars aren't immune to controversy. Despite his success, Idris Elba still struggles with Hollywood's typecasting. While he has moved beyond the roles that often confined him to tough guy or villain, the industry still tries to slot him into these types. He's spoken about how Hollywood, at times, overlooks his range, opting instead for roles that match his imposing physicality. While he has proven himself to be an actor of immense talent, the roles offered to him are often limited by typecasting. The fact that he has not yet received many of the complex, multidimensional roles that truly test his acting skills is a reminder of the challenges that actors of color continue to face. He has carved out his own space, but the industry's limiting views on black actors are hard to shake off. Idris Elba has reached the pinnacle of fame, but the future is always uncertain. He has expressed a desire to diversify his career and step behind the camera, taking on projects as a producer and director. He's dabbled in the music industry, producing his own music and even becoming a DJ, showing his versatility outside acting. But as he shifts gears, there are questions about whether he can maintain the level of influence he has had as an actor. Will Idris Elba be able to break free from the public image that made him a household name, or will he always be seen as the larger-than-life character? His journey is far from over, and fans are eager to see what he will do next. The question remains, can he ever break free from the weight of the superhero persona he helped create? Idris Elba is one of Hollywood's most dynamic and respected stars, but his path to the top has been filled with both triumph and challenge. Beneath the Man of Steel lies a man who has had to fight for every step of his career. Whether in Hollywood or behind the scenes, Idris continues to fight for his identity as an actor and as a person. His career may have begun with the larger-than-life role of Superman, but the real test is whether he can break free from that image and prove that he's more than just the characters he plays. Anne Curtis is the ultimate success story of the Filipino entertainment industry. From her humble beginnings on television, she evolved into a multifaceted talent known across the world. With her unforgettable charm, stunning looks, and undeniable charisma, Anne has built an empire that goes beyond acting, even dabbling in music, fashion, and advocacy. But what the public doesn't see is the long road she has traveled to reach this point. One filled with controversies, personal struggles, and the pressure of constantly living up to expectations. Anne's story is far from perfect, but it's her resilience that has kept her at the forefront of entertainment. Anne Curtis became a household name in the Philippines, adored by millions for her roles in various TV shows and movies. But the pressure to always be on has weighed heavily on her. The public has constantly expected her to be flawless, whether in her career, her personal life, or her appearance. Anne has shared openly how the pressure to always look perfect and be the ideal celebrity took a toll on her mental health. At the height of her fame, she realized that the image she was forced to uphold was beginning to suffocate her. While she has always been known for her gracious smile, there's a part of Anne that struggles to balance her public persona with her personal battles. As one of the most famous celebrities in the Philippines, Anne's personal life has always been under intense scrutiny. From her relationships to her career choices, every aspect of her life was fair game for media speculation. When she began dating other celebrities, her relationships were often dissected and criticized by the public. Her rise to fame was always accompanied by headlines, some positive and others deeply negative. Anne has been the target of online hate, and at times, her vulnerability was used against her. The public perception of her was often shaped by what the media wanted to say, not necessarily who she truly was. Despite her fame, Anne's career has been plagued with moments of personal darkness. In an industry obsessed with beauty and youth, Anne has faced her own struggles with body image and self-esteem. She's been open about how the constant comparisons to her fellow stars weighed on her mental health. At times, she was pushed to conform to a certain ideal of beauty, which was both emotionally draining and physically taxing. The entertainment industry's need to box her into a perfect mold left Anne feeling like she was losing herself. Her success did not come without a price, and the sacrifices she made along the way were often hidden from the public. As Anne grew older, her image began to evolve. She took on more challenging roles and embraced a more mature, sophisticated side of her personality. Fans have been excited to watch her transition from a youthful TV darling to a powerful figure in entertainment. However, not all have been receptive to her changing image. Some fans preferred the old Anne and criticized her for breaking away from the wholesome image that first made her famous. This transition wasn't easy, as Anne had to constantly prove that she could evolve while staying true to herself. The pressure to please everyone has never been more intense. Anne Curtis has always taken on diverse roles in her career, but her choices haven't always been universally accepted. Some critics questioned her decision to move from television to film, and others took issue with her occasional dabbling in music. Despite these criticisms, Anne has proved that she is more than just a pretty face. She's an entertainer with range and ambition. However, some of her ventures were viewed as safe or commercial, leading to accusations that she was more concerned with maintaining her popularity than taking creative risks. The backlash was swift, but Anne continued to push forward, determined to build a career that reflected her personal desires, not just the expectations of others. Anne Curtis has achieved the unthinkable. She has remained at the top of her game for nearly 2 decades. Yet, even with all her achievements, there remains a sense of mystery about her. What is the real Anne Curtis, the woman behind the fame? Fans have been captivated by her, but there's still a part of her that remains hidden, shielded from the public's view. As she evolves, so too does her legacy. The question is whether she will continue to build upon the empire she has created, or whether the pressures of fame will push her into a new chapter of her life. Either way, Anne Curtis has proven that her star will continue to shine brightly, even when the cameras are turned off. Anne Curtis's career has been a beautiful, complicated journey, full of triumph and struggle. She's not just the girl next door, she's an icon in her own right, a star who has worked tirelessly to maintain her place in the industry. Through the highs and lows, Anne has kept her head held high, continuing to evolve and redefine what it means to be a Filipino superstar. Whether she stays at the top or moves in a different direction, Anne's legacy will be one of resilience, evolution, and, above all, authenticity.